We are saddened to announce that Reese and Ryan have decided to formally separate. Whoa! Hollywood of the 2000s could expect such heartbreaking news from whichever star couple, but not Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me, Sebastian! Don't!
Everyone thought it was a match made in heaven. The Cruel Intentions co-star's love was in the limelight for 8 years and showed no signs of troubles.
Yeah, I have feelings for you, Sebastian.
Then what's wrong?
They welcomed 2 beautiful children while still building their stellar careers.
I mean, it's weird, like, you know, she looks exactly like her mother. Well, who else is she gonna look like?
They went through all kinds of difficulties side by side.
It changed who I was on a cellular level.
They were shining so bright. And then all of a sudden, divorce? Yeah. Have you ever wondered why they split? We know the answer to this question. You might think that Reese and Ryan met each other on the set of Cruel Intentions in 1999. But in fact, their romance started 2 years earlier, when Witherspoon threw a party on her 21st birthday. Ryan came there with a mutual friend of theirs. According to the actress, she went up to him and said, "I think you're my birthday present." Apparently, she got everything right. The two clicked immediately, though it probably wasn't love at first sight.
I think I'm falling in love with you.
You don't even know me.
Don't you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah, but only when it's mutual.
21-year-old Reese and 23-year-old Ryan were only calling and texting each other from time to time, mainly because Phillippe was very busy filming I Know What You Did Last Summer. After a month of long-distance correspondence, Reese went to visit Ryan on set. When the filming wrapped, the actors went on a road trip and returned from it as a happy couple. Then they moved in together and settled down in Beverly Hills. Rumors about their romance started swirling instantly. With their blonde hair, blue eyes, and charming smiles, the two seemed to belong together. However, they had absolutely different characters, and it was for the best. Why? Because their differences helped the two young souls to establish a working relationship. As Phillippe revealed to the Morning Call back in 1999, there was a definite balance there. Reese is a happy, lighthearted person, but she's also incredibly intelligent. I tend to be considerably darker. She keeps me from getting too dark and depressed.
We did have
made a
fun.
movie together.
Yeah, we did.
A wonderful movie called Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
He plays Sebastian Belmont, and he's very wonderful.
Well, it was our first time working together, and it was a great experience. And that's kind of what that was our thing. So.
Wait, so they were already engaged while filming Cruel Intentions? What a twist. However, Reese wasn't initially interested in portraying Annette. She did it only because Ryan asked her to. The lovebirds once went out for dinner with their mutual friend, who, by complete accident, was the Cruel Intentions director Roger Cumble. Witherspoon didn't know Phillippe had already signed on to portray Sebastian. "I thought we were all just going to dinner as friends, and then Roger and Ryan asked me to do the movie." Phillippe recalled that dinner as follows. "We drank a lot of wine. We were wooing her. She loved the movie for me, but it wasn't a great part at the time for her. She helped Roger turn it into one." It's true. After feeling as though Annette was one-dimensional, Witherspoon helped her write a better character. Reese didn't want Annette to be influenced by a guy's manipulations. She then revealed that this idea eventually transformed into a much bigger mission in her life. The mission of questioning stereotypes around female characters in the film industry. Another essential part of the Cruel Intentions creation was the electric chemistry between Witherspoon and Phillippe. According to both Phillippe and Witherspoon, their real-life relationship made their breakup scene challenging to film.
You mean nothing to me.
In that scene, Annette slapped Sebastian in a gesture that was famously improvised by Witherspoon.
And she cried, and I'd see there, and I'm, playing this character, but I'm looking in her eyes, and I ended up throwing up that day later on. Yeah, because I was just kind of worked up the whole day.
Phillippe even threw up after shooting that moment. I hit him, and it upset him. We were young, and we just had heightened emotions, but it was great. It was a special time. What made that time even more special was probably Reese's unexpected pregnancy. Reese was extremely nervous about motherhood. Ava wasn't planned, and suddenly I was faced with the prospect of becoming a mother, and I had never even held a newborn in my arms before. Witherspoon and Phillippe tied the knot when the actress was 6 months pregnant. They welcomed their first child, daughter Ava, in 1999. 4 years later, their son Deacon was born. According to Reese, Ryan was a much cooler parent than she. The actor's mother used to run a daycare center, so he learned how to professionally change a diaper within just 5 seconds. Witherspoon felt like she went through a crash course in motherhood. Indeed, but it would be fair to say that both of them went through a crash course of juggling everything at once. In 2002, Witherspoon and Phillippe were presenting together at the Oscars. The actor then made a joke that his wife should announce the winner all by herself because she made more money than him.
And the Oscar goes to...
Let me read it. Can I read it?
You make more than I do. Go ahead.
Whoa, that was harsh. Many fans were left wondering if there was some jealousy in their relationship. Phillippe was arguably a bigger star during the 90s. But then, presumably after the success of Legally Blonde, Witherspoon became more famous. So she had much larger paychecks than her husband. The Sweet Home Alabama star talked openly about going to marriage counseling. Both Reese and Ryan sincerely wanted to keep their relationship on track. They perceived their marriage, quote, not as a free ride, but as a partnership they worked on. Reese said once, "Love is a beautiful thing, but you've got to nurture it through the 50 things that come during the day, like driving the kids to school, figuring out who's picking up the in-laws from the airport, and working when one of your kids is running a high fever. Those are the normal things that stress every couple." But unfortunately, they didn't succeed.
This isn't working out for me anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
In October 2006, Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe announced that they had separated. Not divorced, though. At that time, a paparazzo caught the actors arguing at the Flags of Our Father premiere. A month after announcing they had separated, Witherspoon filed for divorce. She gave the classic celebrity divorce line, irreconcilable differences. Many presumed it wasn't the full story. The ex-spouses revealed new details almost 10 years later. But wait for it, let's stick to the timeline. Reese and Ryan handled the split differently. According to Ryan, he had a hard time getting out of bed during the first post-separation months. Reese, for some reason, found the divorce to be humiliating. It's important to mention the exes didn't get a prenup while tying the knot. At the time of their divorce, Witherspoon was commanding approximately $20 million per film, while Phillippe was getting $2.5 million.
But he's probably best known for being Reese Witherspoon's ex. I'm sorry, Ryan, but that's the truth.
Under California law, Ryan was entitled to 50% of Reese's earnings during their marriage. But eventually, he didn't ask for any spousal support or child support. He only asked for joint custody of their 2 children. It seems like the two have managed to remain civil and respectful to each other. Okay, cool. But seriously, why did the stars split then? In 2015, 9 years after the divorce, Phillippe shared his thoughts with Larry King regarding the real reasons for their separation.
I think more of the problem was age, when we got together so young. I think it can create issues to people in this industry because there's so much noise that goes along with it.
Witherspoon echoed something similar in 2017. I got married when I was only 23, and I had 2 kids by the time I was 27. The actress noted, however, that she wouldn't change anything about that. Still, she keeps telling her daughter that only by the age of 25, you start to understand yourself a little better. Good point, Reese. When the news broke that Witherspoon and Phillippe were done, it came out that the I Know What You Did Last Summer actor got a little too close with his stop-loss co-star Abby Cornish. Sources claim they saw Phillippe and Cornish kissing at a Japanese restaurant. Note that he was still married at the time. Phillippe insisted that he and Cornish were nothing more than co-stars. However, 2 years after his split from Witherspoon, he went public with his relationship with Cornish. Oh well. Witherspoon married talent agent Jim Toth in 2011, and the next year the two welcomed a son. The Oscar-winning actress has doubled down on producing projects she's passionate about, including 2014's Gone Girl and Wild, both of which she produced. And what about Phillippe's life after divorce? The actor welcomed his 3rd child, daughter Kai, in 2011 with then-girlfriend Alexis Knapp. Then he got engaged with Paulina Slagter, but the two split in late 2016. Back in 2019, Phillippe was sued after his then-girlfriend Elsie Hewitt accused him of domestic violence. Reese Witherspoon volunteered to testify in her ex-husband's case. She claimed in a public statement that he'd never been violent to her or any other woman she knew. It seems that Reese and Ryan still have a working relationship, as co-parents and old friends. Even though the stars' marriage story didn't have a happily ever after ending, they will always remain one of the most beautiful and inspiring couples Hollywood has ever seen.